Hi again, and welcome to JRi Shocks Australia. Today's video we want to showcase the ST08 shock manufactured by JRi Shocks in America. Ask any professional race team who uses JRi product, this is a shock to have. Every single component out of this shock, something goes into every other model that they actually manufacture. This particular shock here comes in several options in terms of adjustability. This one here, for example, you've got a double adjuster down the bottom here. One does compression, one does rebound, but you can actually have that alternated depending on your requirements to high speed rebound and low speed rebound, as this one is compression and rebound throughout the whole range. With the drag shocks, you can actually have an eyelet which actually operates the low speed rebound, so it actually activates it like a on-off switch. So on launch, the extra low speed rebound holds the back of the car down and keeps it loaded up, and then at a preset time after launch, the solenoid kicks in, lets the air pressure out, and basically then the rebound setting without the low speed activated is what controls the car. As you can see in the diagram behind me, we've got JRi shock here with a canister as well. So when you go to a three-way, the compression adjuster ends up being on the actual canister, and if you go four-way, then you get two adjusters on the actual canister. The great thing about this particular shock, modular construction, so if we needed to change lengths, we could use all the parts except for the shaft and the body. We change those two parts, the shock would still work like it was designed to work. Huge adjustment range and availability in lengths, eye to eye and as well as strokes. So maximum is about 21.5 inches, which is quite long. When you've got a long body, obviously you've got your ride height adjuster here, sits 2.25, 2.5 inch spring IDs. You can see how close it gets to the actual end of the actual shock, so you've got a huge amount of adjustment, probably one of the better adjustments available. This particular shock I've got in my hand here, it's actually got an extended eyelet, so there are options for different length eyelets if you need something out of the ordinary as well. Monoball fittings, top and bottom. Again, standards are 1/2 inch ID bolt, top and bottom. Schrader valve they're all monotube gas construction, so the gas pressure reduces any pressure drop from one side of the piston to the other and change of direction, stops cavitation. Same principle as a lot of the other shocks that JRi manufacture. Low gas pressure technology, so that means the internal design is really efficient. If you take all the gas out, you get minimal change or cavitation, but that little bit of gas pressure is just a bit of extra security. When you do go to a canister style, you've got another tuning tool which is actually the gas pressure in the actual canister. So there's various ways of thinking on how much gas pressure you need in a shock. You need a minimum amount to stop cavitation, and when you talk to drag racers and even speedway guys, low gas pressure is usually the better option for grip and performance. It also depends on the actual nature of the track, especially in terms of the surface finish, if it's a really low grip or not. If you're involved in road racing, often you can actually increase the actual gas pressure in the canister, and it can actually act, it's basically like the gas acts like a spring, like an air spring. And basically what that actually helps you do is, as an example, you've got a shock with a canister, you go to Sandown, bumpy track, low grip, often cold. You'd run a lower gas pressure there, so the shock responds much easier to bumps and stuff, and things like that. Next event you go to Phillip Island, a lot of high speed flowing corners there. You tend to want to stiffen the car up a little bit. An option is to actually put more gas pressure in and maybe run the bars similar or maybe a fraction softer. So basically you get extra spring support while utilising more gas pressure without having to actually change too much on the car. So it actually works as a really good fine tuning tool. A couple other features about the ST08 model. So you've got a really large range of piston designs, so you can create a lot of variation in terms of how you like the compression and rebound forces to look. So you can have them like a linear, so the forces will just be one straight line. You can have it digressive, so you have like a bit of nose and then it will sort of go a bit flat. So you've got quite a few options there. There's many more, but there's some we can actually just discuss and talk to you about depending on what your needs are and what category you're involved in. This particular shock, because of how modular it is, drag racers use it. A lot of teams or competitors in road racing use it, in sports cars. Speedway guys, if allowed in the regulations, use aluminium body and various forms of adjustment. They use it as well. Adjustability wise, you can also get these in a non-adjustable setup, depending on what sort of vehicle, if you're wanting to fit into a street car or more of a custom build, that is possible as well, and that actually falls under the Pro Touring models, which is again very similar, based off the ST08 model. Another feature with the ST08 model, which is quite unique to JRi, is they have a body which is actually like a smooth bore external body, and basically it's a ride height actuation model. So depending on how long the actual shock is, you can actually get a variation in ride height from about 0 up to 3 inches. So if you've got a car, building a custom car, and you want to fit airbags in it, one of the problems with airbag systems is they can leak, and you don't actually get the ride quality anywhere as good as when you've got a proper shock fitted to a linear metal spring, as you do on a shock like this. So basically by activating a switch, what happens is this adjuster is actually on a smooth bore sealing, and that would actually move up and down depending on what sort of setting you need for or what height you want to set the stance for the car. So the actual shock body extends, you could say, which is, as I said, quite unique to JRi. So you get a variation in ride height by a large amount without actually putting more preload on the spring, so you don't actually get the harshness, and you've still got the adjustability of a proper working shock. So as I said, it's a very unique product with JRi. Again, they come with as a 0, you can have no adjustment in terms of damping, just ride height, or you can add up to 1, 2, all the way up to 4-way adjustment if you like. One other thing about this ST08, this same shock is what is primarily used on the S5000, Australian S5000 championship cars. It's just a much smaller. They utilise quite a small spring and use a smooth bore shock, very small item, but again great for open wheelers as well. So as the Australian service and sales dealers for JRi Shocks, if you've got any questions, please by all means give us a call, or go check out our website www.racingshocksaustralia.com.au. We'd love to help you out and see what we can do to get some more performance out of yourself and the car, and yeah, hope to see you soon.